And we are live. I was just, while we were trying to get the thing connected there, I was staring out the window. And I don't know if I've shown you the view in this place.
Very nice.
Aye.
Cool place to work.
Yeah. That's, I haven't done any work in here. So I don't have a desk here, but I have to actually go to work now. Whenever we finish chatting, we've got a little bit of painting to do at the boat. Painting some booms.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll only take an hour, like, but
Boom.
booms. Yeah, the booms. Do you remember what bit they are?
Huh?
Do you remember what bit they are?
Yeah, the thing that normally holds up the mast. That's a boom. No?
They're the things that are attached to them.
I've seen enough pirate movies and shit to tell me to know that. Not I didn't Liam never told me that kind of stuff. He didn't sit me down and go, no, Charlie, this is this and that is this.
Yeah, you just like told or just expected to know everything right away.
Yeah.
Figure it out as you go along. Aye, well, that's what I have to be at now. And but well, the time I was given was 1:30, 2:00, but whatever. It's easy. It's not going to be a strict. It's Sunday after all today.
It's the Lord's Day.
Yeah, the day of our Lord, the Sabbath. But we're not the most devout Catholics, so.
Do you think that'll change as we get older?
I don't think. No, I don't. I couldn't see us becoming more Catholic.
More religious, I mean. With the impending, as you get older, people have realized that we're not here for for long and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I reckon it's maybe not so much religious, but spiritual. I'm not entirely sure what the difference between those two are, really. They could nearly be interchangeable, but well, I suppose religion's more of like an organized thing, whereas you can be spiritual just within yourself. Like I would consider myself to be somewhat spiritual.
No, I'm just a black void.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if I'm about to die, I'll be like, oh Jesus, just in case.
Yeah. We're still
I don't mean
cool,
all
aren't
that kind of stuff. I don't know, but in general, I still kind of don't believe. Stop. Riley's trying to get under the duvet because it's cold.
Right.
He's got old bones.
What?
He's got old bones.
What age is he?
I don't know.
That's right. He was a rescue pup dog.
And when I got him, when I moved here, he was supposedly 2, but they can only tell that by the teeth, and that kind of varies. I think about 2 years difference. So he could have been 2 or 4. Like he's very grey now. And do you know Mitch McConnell?
Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, the dude from America in the Senate.
Oh, I don't know him.
Okay, well he has this neck like Mitch
was
McConnell.
the guy
has this huge neck.
Right. I thought he was the guy that was in Cartman's hand. That's Mitch Connor.
That was Jennifer Lopez.
No, there was Jennifer Lopez, and then there was also Mitch Connor.
Mitch Connor, yeah.
Yeah.
That was who it was all the time. No? Spoiler alert.
Oh fuck yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's probably true. I hadn't.
Can you say spoiler alert after you say
You can, but it wouldn't make much sense. Were you paying any attention to the news this week?
Yeah, but it's, I don't know, it's not as entertaining as it used to be.
No. Well, at the start
I
of the
think they're praising. I think they're with respect to Biden and stuff like that. They're praising him for a lot of things. You know, they are less critical of him. You can tell by the kind of things that he's done, and he has this crisis now on the border with children, the same way Trump had, and he's not really doing much better with it. You know, he's saying, "Oh, we will fix this. We will fix this," but there's still kids separated from their parents and things like that in
right,
facilities. And there's been an overwhelming amount now because he changed the law like a week ago.
changed the law to
He reversed some of Donald Trump's what do you call them, things that they legislative orders, or what the hell do you call them? If a president signs it, what do you call that? Legislative order. I can't remember. You know what I'm talking about?
sounds about right. But I don't know what exactly that would entail.
But anyway, he reversed Trump's kind of laws that he passed in order to reverse some of the things that he did. And then there was, in this last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of influx of kids, you know, crossing the border without their parents, like unattended. So there'd be, you know, teenagers and maybe kids, you know what kind of situation.
Right, just like a whole heap of them. It's like what their parents are in the States, or the parents are still in Mexico.
No, the parents are still in presumably Mexico, and then they have apparently family members inside the US that they're trying to reconnect with, make them reconnect with now. But it's a very big task. It's a very difficult thing to do.
I would imagine so. How would you like?
The logistics of doing something like that, and I don't know the exact numbers, but they have been quite overwhelming. So
Um, did you see or hear the crack with in the UK there at the start of the week? There was some woman that was murdered recently, Sarah Everly or something.
yeah, that's been a big thing in the news now.
For a while.
Until what happened in America, with the dude and the hate crime, well, the supposed hate crime against, he killed 7 Asian people, or like 6 or 5 Asian women that worked in one of these kind of massage parlors. You didn't see this?
No, I don't. That's the thing. I don't really watch the news or listen to. I'll hear
Well,
something on the radio.
this was big because there's been a massive rise in hate crime against Asian people in America. So this was kind of a culmination of, you know, Donald Trump saying the China virus and, you know, all this kind of stuff. It's directed a lot of hate towards Asian people, like even if they're not Chinese. And you know the way people are so ignorant.
Right.
But yes, that woman was killed by a police officer.
Yeah, I heard that day. And there was
And then the
protests.
police used like police brutality against the protest, even though the protest was illegal. There's a protest here today as well. I was at the metro there earlier, and the police in riot gear all surrounded it. You know, like pure armed to the teeth. You know, they're gonna, if it gets any way sizable, they're gonna, you know, just arrest people.
Um, yeah, they just arrest at random. Did you see any of the footage of the protests in London yesterday? There were
No,
protests all over the world.
for
Rally for freedom.
oh yeah, There was two conflicting ones in London, I think, yesterday. There was one for I think women's rights, and the right to, because of what happened to that woman. And then there was the other one against the lockdown.
Yeah.
This is what you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen that, but they were portrayed very negatively on the news.
Oh yeah.
So
far right extremists, probably.
well, when they were making the comparison between the women's protest and this other protest, it was painting it in a very kind of negative light, as in this one's just and the other one's not.
What news thing is TV?
That was Channel 4 News.
Right. Yeah, no, apparently there was protests all over the world in this rally for freedom thing. But I haven't seen. I don't be looking at these sorts of things from time to time. To look at the news. We had gone to Derry yesterday. I had to mail a parcel and get some shopping. We're in the city, and we're kind of half expecting there to be protests there, but apparently there was one in Letterkenny, part of the rally for freedom, and in Limavady as well. I don't know why Limavady, but
It's not a thing people do at home, really.
the water.
I mean, what would be the largest protest that last happened in Ireland, for example?
The water.
The water, yeah, the water charge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how many people was that?
Oh, fucking hundreds of thousands.
When was that?
That was, I'd say 6 or 7 years ago or so now. I don't know. I went to one of them. My whole family went, there were loads and loads of people. And that was huge, down in Dublin.
But it doesn't happen too often.
No, it doesn't. But that was a serious one, and I don't think we really grasped.
I think Dad was at that too.
Yeah, I would say so. Why?
Oh, he went with you.
No, I don't know. I don't think so. I think we might have driven down like the folks and all like, but have the ramifications of it could have been huge, like the right to water and all, because do you know that they've privatized water in certain places?
No.
In Australia, they privatize water so people can buy and sell it like commodities, and it's causing water shortages in certain places because there's almond farms, and they're buying up. They need a lot of water, and they're buying the rights to the water. And there's like rivers that have been channeled down, and they are flowing a lot more water, and it's creating floods in certain places and droughts in other places, and it's basically ruining people's lives, like ruining farmers and all that's livelihoods in Australia, because water is a commodity there now, like oil or
I
gas.
swear you were talking about Ireland there for a second. I was like, Jesus, I would have heard about that. Like,
yeah. No, I'm saying that's what could have happened in Ireland. In theory, had the rights to water been privatized, so that private companies can buy and sell water and trade in it, whereas now it's a public resource.
I mean, the quality in some places is shocking. I mean, like in Greencastle, I mean, in many places it's still yellow. It was only yellow up to a couple of years ago.
Yeah. They had a lot of issues with it. We were campaigning with the Shinners to upgrade the water water. My brain's not working this morning. The
Water treatment plant.
yeah, well, pumping station, that would be it. Like I don't think there's a treatment plant there anymore, or what they call a treatment plant. So the water is getting pumped over from Buncrana, the Eddie Fullerton Dam. It's been pumped over to here now, whereas it, yeah, it was going through a treatment thing down there, and there was the THMs, trihalomethanes, which are supposedly carcinogenic, can cause quite a range of different cancers like stomach and bowel cancers and all that kind of crack. So they upgraded they're pumping it over, and I think they're still working on fixing the actual one in Greencastle. But yeah, they water. I don't know.
They're resuming the use of AstraZeneca.
That reminds me. Did you get yours yet?
No, I'm still being a bit lazy about it because I have to sort out like things first.
You mean I'll have to sort of bide my time and wait and see if anybody else sort of.
Well, some of my co-workers have already been sick with it. 2 of them, they're like feverish and kind of sick with it as soon as they got it.
Right.
I think it lasted about a day, or it didn't last that long. And they said their arm was sore, but that was about it. But I mean, it's okay. It's comparable to, like, if there was, I think there was 17 million people that were given it, and 40 people 40 people had blood clot issues. I mean,
Right.
that's quite good in, statistically. 40 people out of 17 million, there's always going to be someone, and that's quite low. That's not what they thought it was going to be as well. They thought it was going to be higher, but that's even lower than what they thought it was going to be.
Right.
And there's this kind of whole debate now on the efficacy of each vaccine. That I seen something that explained that we shouldn't compare them on that kind of benchmark. That they're all effective. They all have an effective rate. They all basically, it's not to prevent you from getting the coronavirus. It's that when you do get the coronavirus, that it doesn't get to the symptoms, don't get to the stage where you need to get hospitalized. You are going to get it, but it would only last, you only get the sniffles or something like that.
Right. So
that's all you'll get.
Then if you got COVID itself, you probably wouldn't get hospitalized anyway because you're a younger person. So the fact that it doesn't stop transmission, hey?
Yeah, well, it's not that it doesn't it's building the immunity of everyone. Building, it's not just, I mean, maybe one day I am not, one day I maybe get old, This is not going to be something that is not going to go away, like the flu, I imagine. I don't think it's something we are going to eradicate.
But is it not that, like with the flu vaccine, that you're better off saving getting the vaccine until you're older and you need it, like if you get the vaccine now, then it's
Yeah, but
you're,
there's, I don't know. We've been exposed to that for longer, so there is like a herd immunity kind of thing. I think that's what we're looking to do.
herd immunity by giving everybody a small amount of resistance to the virus in the vaccine. Because these ones, the RNA ones, it doesn't actually contain the virus itself. It mimics the protein or something, spike protein. The Johnson and Johnson, I think that's different. I think that might contain the virus itself. The Johnson
Say
and
that
Johnson
again, because you went all
body.
freezy.
I said I think the Johnson
You
and
went all
Johnson
freezing.
freezing again.
Yeah.
Fuck. Well,
No, now you're grand. Now you're grand.
I think I need a little table for my laptop. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, going back to what you just said to the Johnson and Johnson one. Do you remember last week we were talking about it, and I said, "Oh, how do people know that the Johnson and Johnson vaccine is has an efficacy against the South African variant?"
Yeah, I remember that.
They did when they did their studies, when they did their peer review studies. Okay, they did it in South Africa. One of the places that they did it, that they tested it on the vaccine was in South Africa with that
Right,
variant.
right.
So that's why they say the Johnson and Johnson is more effective, because it was tested there. Like the things with the efficacy rates, they're not really comparable, because all of their studies were done in different places. Like AstraZeneca, they did a study, I think, in the UK, but they didn't do the demographics. That's why there's so many. I mean, like they had a lack of people over 60 in their studies, and that's why there was such skepticism, about it.
But why is it not like the flu, where you give it to the people who are sensitive to it, or like that would be worried about getting the actual virus, instead of giving it to everybody when it doesn't affect transmission? It doesn't. The vaccine doesn't prevent transmission. It just
It would
lessens severe
prevent
symptoms.
transmission if no one's going to get violently sick from it and start coughing everywhere and all that kind of stuff. It would reduce the amount of transmission dramatically. If everyone's not going to be affected by it, symptomatically, coughing and spitting and all that kind of stuff and touching stuff. I mean, it's to make ourselves stronger. This is at least you'd have to do it in the beginning. No, I mean, with the flu vaccine or any of those, they would have all got it. I'm sure when did they would have all got it in the same manner when that first kind of arose. No, when it was available.
Was it the flu vaccine? That
Yeah.
older people would have all got it.
No, but like when it was first came about and it was new and flashy, like a new vaccine, everybody gets it then. No, it must have been the same situation with the flu vaccine when it was invented. Like they would have got as many people vaccinated in the beginning as possible because it's something new.
I don't know. Yeah, we should see about seeing if we can interview a virologist or something. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, that would be. Yeah.
Somebody else on a little screen here that knows what the fuck they're chatting about.
Yeah.
Because I think that's I think it helps people whenever it's like people that don't have a clue have the ability to ask people that do know these things, because people that don't have a clue will be asking the kinds of questions that other people that don't have a clue would ask, you know.
That is a great point.
That's why Joe Rogan is so popular, I believe. You know, he says it, he's frequently says himself that he's an idiot, and you know, he asks the questions that he is curious about asking, and a lot of people are not idiots, but you know, he's not an idiot either, but you know, clueless to certain things. So but yeah, time will tell. In Ireland, though, they've been talking about extending the level 5 lockdowns until June now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I honestly can't really complain. The only thing that we have here is the curfew, but everything else is quite normal. Bars and restaurants are all still open here.
So do people go to bars and restaurants during the day now?
Yeah, I mean, I live in a kind of in the center, so there's all these terraces with people sitting at them.
Yeah.
Do
people sit outside them without masks on?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Grand. That's not so bad.
Well, a lot of them are hurting because if it's a business that you need, you know, to work past 11, which there's a lot of them depend on that, you know, because of the schedule, the way people eat here and stuff like that.
That's a funny one. Like here, they haven't introduced the curfew, but they still have the 5K rule, which everybody breaks.
Someone I worked with went to Barcelona like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, does anyone stop you or anything like that? And was like, nothing. I was like, okay, I can't go home, but you can go to fucking Barcelona.
Oh, you could go home if you want.
When I get the vaccine, and that's what was in the news this week too. The EU, I think, have decided that you're going to get a little card with your vaccination data. And on this card would be very limited information because they don't want to take our information and keep it. That's what they say to reassure us. Yeah, but I'll get the card. I'd freaking glue it to my forehead if it meant I could get on a plane.
Yeah. Oh dear, oh dear. So you'd be happily coerced?
You have to get this. It depends what vaccine you get as well. It has to be approved by the European Union. So if you get like the Sputnik one, which I know you're going to get because that's the kind of person you are. If you get the Sputnik one, you're not going to be able to travel. So you have to keep that in mind. It has to be European vaccine, I think.
Right.
I think. Or Moderna. Moderna is German. No, Pfizer's German. Moderna's American.
That's the American, isn't it? No.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose they're multinational companies. In fairness, Bill Gates, he's invested heavily in Moderna. He's very like he's creaming off that.
He's a good man. He's a good man.
He's a good man. Yeah.
They have a foundation. They help people like have toilets and places and stuff. So you have to leave them alone.
I don't know whether you're being facetious or not.
Who knows? Only he knows.
Only he knows. Yeah. Yeah. His foundation. But he's increased his wealth massively over the course of this pandemic.
Like all of them, like the top 1% have all skyrocketed.
Yeah.
I mean, Elon Musk is a pure example of that too. Bezos was way ahead of him, then the pandemic hit, and it's like, boom, he's the richest man in the world, and now him and Bezos is like this kind of back and forth about who's going to be the first kind of like a trillionaire. I think that's what they're trying to aim for. They said by 2050 that we'd have the first trillionaire, but it's probably going to be sooner the way things are going.
Yeah. And whenever it gets to that sort of level of wealth, it's well, I suppose billionaire in itself is that
Billionaires in itself. Why would you even, would you not agree that you don't need more than 100 million? I mean, 100 million. What would you need more than 100 million?
Well, if you factor in inflation.
No, but I don't see why we can't cap it at that. Why does someone need to have that immense wealth? They're not voted for by anyone, they have more power than our, democratically elected government. These corporations like Facebook and Amazon just wag their knob around, and everyone has to go, yeah, this is great.
Yeah, well, that's they should be.
They should be broken up. They
Yeah,
should be broken up like they did back when big oil got to
it was you saying that last week. I was trying to work out who had said that. Or Standard Oil or something, or fucking American Oil.
They did, yeah, and I can't remember which president it was, but it was like in the 1950s or something like that. So, I mean, that's what they did before, and it worked. You can't have these kind of monopolies. It's not.
No, if
we're truly capitalist.
Yeah,
which we're not.
But it is kind of it's would it be a catch-22? It's like the aim is to become very successful, and whenever you get so successful, it's like there, I suppose, the point of diminishing returns, or
yeah, but it gets to a point that level of wealth is dangerous to other people. If it gets to a level of wealth where you're harmful to other people, which Jeff Bezos is, people have to piss in bottles. He's refusing to let them unionize. He's telling the people that work for him, the higher ups, to tell the workers that they cannot unionize, they cannot do anything. Like the level of like de-unification of the unions, or how would you say that?
I don't know.
It's that they are fighting against all type of union, kind of raising the minimum wage or anything like that. That's what Biden did as well, the bastard. He promised to raise the minimum wage and he didn't do it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shocker.
Yeah, but he's sending big checks to people, so that's what he kind of thinks will kind of level it out.
What? Sending big checks to people?
Yeah,
Oh, the stimmies.
I have friends here that get them. Everyone gets them.
Right.
That last time, the Trump's check, people I work with here, even if they're not in America, they still get a check. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm jealous as fuck. I'm like, you bastard, because they were building up as well. They're quite substantial. If you let it go.
I thought it was I thought it was $1,400 each time, or
wasn't it like 600 under Trump? In the beginning, there was the first check.
Oh yeah.
But it reverted back to 600, and they were fighting over it for ages. Now it's 1,200 under Biden, I think, or 400.
I thought it was 1,400. Yeah.
Yes, but each dependent, you get like 700 for each dependent as well. If you have children, so there's like it's a big stimulus package. It's huge. And they can't stop praising him for it. but I'm just like waiting for the,
what will that cause? The collapse of the US economy?
not really. It'll give money to people to spend on the economy, like kind of makes it grow.
But the thing is, what happens with this is, because the money's just invented, then it's given out, and then as it's spent, the value of money itself decreases, which causes inflation. So that money is actually worth far less, because there's still the same amount of goods and services, but there's the money is, it's not based on anything, so it's
But it's the same. It doesn't seem to, like, I mean, Trump passed the stimulus bill, which was pretty similar amount of money for large corporations, and it's been, I don't like that excuse when we give something to the people, when you compare it to the other things they give corporations, tax cuts and all that kind of stuff. I don't, taking one for the people, I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah, well, I'd heard something, I can't remember where I heard it recently, about how whenever the wealthy or the businesses get money, they invest it in the stock market. So the economy could look like pure shit, but the stock market looks really good, because all the big money.
So that's a fucking fundamental problem, that shows there's no connection with the stock market and people. There's no connection at all with it. That's the problem with it.
Well, this is where the whole retail investing is becoming quite interesting, because now the stimulus checks, and it could actually help benefit the US economy and stop it from collapsing, because if the stimulus checks get pumped into GameStop, which I'm sure a lot of them will, but yeah, the thing is, like, whenever it's invested, then the company that is being invested in is getting that money to work with, aren't they? Isn't that kind of how it works? We need another expert for this topic. We should write down virologist, economist, or maybe not an economist, a fucking,
and then a porn star.
stock. Yeah, why not? Who's your favorite?
What's your favorite color?
Okay.
What's your favorite color?
Favorite gender?
No, as in color. I didn't mean color as in people. I mean color as in what's your favorite color.
Oh,
Just
right.
ask, have a porn star come on and ask him completely unrelated questions.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an idea. It's funny how times you get distracted slightly and your mind just goes blank. You had gone out there earlier for a little walk. You messaged whenever I was trying to arrange time. I don't know where I'm going with this.
I don't bloody know either. What the hell?
21. Yeah.
All right, so that's where we end it today, sure.
Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, I gotta go to work. So for the next time, we gotta arrange some experts to interview.
Okay.
But good to see you, and sure I'll hear you again soon.
Good luck with your booms.
I will. Yeah, we'll get them painted. I'll send you a picture afterwards. Sure.
Fantastic.
Good luck.